Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. It's Wednesday, which means it's brand new comic book day. New comics are hitting the shelves all across the world. Digitally, physically, it's the best day of the week because it's new comic book day. Now, DC hooked us up with one of their releases. It's Curse of the Brimstone #1, their latest release for their New Age of Heroes. And for those who haven't been paying attention, like, the New Age of Heroes is actually really good. It's entertaining, the various series that have come out. There's been, what, 4 of them so far? And each one is, special in its own way, and they've all been pretty solid, if you ask me. So before we get going, I do want to point out the first issue has the expandable cover. All of them have been doing this. You can see this nice expanded cover, and then there's a back to it that you'll eventually be able to put them all together and form the big giant promo poster that they've been using to show everything off. So I want to give credit for the creators behind this. The storytellers are Philip Tan and Justin Jordan. Justin Jordan also did the dialogue. Rain Beredo is the colorist. Wes Abbott, letterer. Tan and Beredo did the cover. Brian Cunningham is the group editor, with Jessica Chen is the editor. Brimstone was created by Justin Jordan and Philip Tan. And this isn't a knock on the New Age of Heroes at all. Each series, I would say, is DC doing Marvel better than Marvel's been doing Marvel. The Terrifics have very much a Fantastic Four sort of vibe about it. Sideways definitely has a Spider-Man vibe about it. Silencer, I could go with the Punisher maybe. And maybe said like Deathstroke a little bit. I don't know on that one. But every series that we've seen is a little bit of Marvel. This, I guess we could kind of go with Ghost Rider. No way. I'm not quite sure. Because the first issue doesn't give a lot to go on. There's, hints and glimpses of what we can expect. There's definitely this, weird supernatural aspect of it, but I'm not quite sure. But the build-up's really good. There's, a horror sci-fi, I'll say a little sci-fi. It's like a horror comic with a little sci-fi element, or superhero elements, what do you want to call it. It's a really solid start. There's definitely, a Silent Hill vibe about it, and it's enjoyable. I really like the first issue. Now, what really stands out at me is the setting of the first issue. It is in the foothills of mountains, in the backwoods of a small town, dying. This is an area that is not generally seen in comics. They call it York Hill. I don't think they ever actually say where it is. I kind of assume Pennsylvania based off of some stuff, but. And there's actually references that people don't care about this area because, it's not glitzy and nice like Metropolis or, big city like Gotham or whatever. And, to me that's really interesting. I think what's even more interesting is for those who follow Justin Jordan on various social networks, he does talk a lot about this sort of area, and this is an area that he is really familiar with in his own personal life. So to see him incorporating that into an issue, I think is fantastic. And the thing that really stands out is that aspect of the first issue and its focus on the fact that this is a town, an area that's been left behind. The manufacturers have left, the factories have closed down, and there's not really much left for the people of this town. They just don't have a future. So the question is, when you have a world where people are literally flying and can, we're dealing with aliens and crazy races and rings that allow you to do stuff and Amazonians and people that can run really fast, what does that mean to, for a town that can't support itself, that's factories closed, that people can't get their basic needs, that healthcare isn't there, that the stipends and the disability checks don't really cover things. And that seems to be the kind of underlying theme of the first issue. And I have to give Justin Jordan and Philip Tan massive props for going that direction. It really feels like Jordan out of the two of them, just because I know for a fact that he talks about a lot of that on his various Facebook pages, and I don't know if he does it on Twitter, but with being friends with him on Facebook, this is something that I can see, and I don't know if he was doing that necessarily while he was developing this first issue. Love to sit down and talk to him about it, because I think that's a really, really interesting aspect, and out of everything, that's what really stands out to me about this first issue, is that it seems to be putting that question of, in a world full of superheroes and, you know, and mind-blowing experiences, you know, what does that mean for towns like this? And by the end of it, I think we're going to find out. I don't know what we're going to see, and it doesn't look good, but, you know, I don't want to give that away. Basically, the first issue I think is really solid. It's a really good read. It's entertaining, and it definitely, I think, touches upon some themes that not many comics do. And it's got some interesting characters that definitely felt for. And the other is, you know, what was presented really reminds me of the things that I see and not really experience, but, you know, every so often stop in, you know, driving from where I live in DC up to visit my parents in New York, driving up 15. This feels like one of those towns that I passed through. The ones that you really wonder what people are doing there to survive, you know, what's going on with the with the factory closed, that sort of thing. So, you know, someone who has seen this sort of world, it's really interesting. And, you know, in ways I've lived in that sort of place, too, of the dying town, small town. So, you know, touching upon a subject that we haven't seen in comics, and some really interesting questions and themes. Like, I have to give the first issue massive props. You know, as far as, like, the setting up the superhero or whatever it is, it definitely sets up the mystery. I enjoyed it more for these other things I've discussed than that. And put it all, you know, it's all tied together. So, but I think that's the thing that really stands out to me. As far as art, I think the art's really solid. It's pretty cool looking. You can see the first page there. I'm only going to show a little bit of it. I really like the art style, the coloring, the inking, everything kind of stands out. And definitely the lettering really emphasizes kind of like the crappiness of it all. I hate to say it that way. Excuse me. Got a cold, and yay, spring, you know, colds and illness. So I recommend this. I've liked all the New Age of Heroes, and this is one like that definitely stands out from the bunch because it really stands out from other comics as a whole. So you should go get this. It's out in comic shops today. I want to immediately thank DC for hooking us up with this first issue. As always, thank you for the support, and I'd like to put that up front so you can determine whether or not I'm full of crap, you know, because I got this for free. But beyond that, like, this would be an interesting one, is that if I wasn't given it for free, I don't necessarily know if I would buy it, but if you were to hand it to me and I were to read it, I would immediately buy it, if it makes sense. So it's not one that necessarily, like, jumped out at me. Like, I really like Justin Jordan's writing, but this, I'll admit, this isn't one that, like, super jumped out at me. But this, after reading it, like, I'm in. Like, I really want to see where this goes. I want to see how he uses the setting and the characters and the themes that he kind of lays out. It's really, really interesting because of that. So you can go get this in comic shops today. I have a feeling this is going to be one that's under a lot of radars. Flying on the radar for a lot of folks. So go get this in comic shops. Obviously, first and foremost, go support your local comic book shop. We've got a link beneath this video. You put in your zip code. It'll tell you if a shop's near you. If there's no shop near you, then you can go and use one of the affiliate links below. There are affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage of that. But by doing that, you help support our site. And, you know, I always want to thank you for that. Now, if you're into the New Age of Heroes, if you're into DC Comics, or if you're into comics in general, you can check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.